espresso, or cappuccino. This is the stuff daydreams are made of. It could be your new favorite place for breakfast or lunch. Get more at mooseandstellas.com. Moose and Stella's Cafe for up-north flavor.
You crack open a frosted can of your favorite Faygo, and when that summertime sweetness approaches your smile, bam! Swooping, swirling flavors rush past your lips, opening your eyes to the sweeter side of life. The sun gets sunnier, the beach gets beachier, the mood gets sweeter, and the world moves to your vibe in full-flavor Technicolor. With every sip of Faygo sweetness, we make the world pop. Find out how Faygo can make your summertime pop at MakeTheWorldPop.com.
Good morning, Northern Michigan, and welcome to Friday Faceoff on Up North Sports Radio, brought to us by Cherry Capital Airport, TVC, Rich Calkins, Jerry Coyne in studio, and Rich, what a difference a week makes.
Isn't that incredible, JC? A total flip by our Detroit Tigers as they have won 6 out of their last 7. They go into Cincinnati and sweep the Reds,
Who just swept the Yankees.
Yes. And so no rhyme, no reason. Then they come home and take on the leading Cleveland Guardians.
The Guardians have the second best record in the American League.
Yes, and a team that notoriously we haven't played well against.
Well, actually, we won the season series versus them last year.
Last year started to turn the corner, but prior to that, remember, we had nightmares.
We've been getting our asses kicked by the Guardians, and
we almost swept them.
We should have swept them.
Should have swept them. That comeback, we were down 6-0, and they rallied back to tie it, and, I mean, it went to extra innings, so it was a game. They're finally getting some consistent hitting.
Well, Justin Henry Malloy, Colt Keith.
Colt, oh my gosh, is he developing?
Yes, that was like the big question mark. Yeah. They signed him with to a fairly large contract. I think it's like a 3-year, $26 million contract.
Never having it at bat at the major league level.
Mm-hmm. They loved what they had seen with him in AA and AAA last year. Thought he was ready to go. And he took his lumps.
Oh, he did. Early on, it was looking like, oh, boy, he might need to take some time down at AAA.
Yeah.
All of that. But they stayed with it. He continued to work on things, and now he's hammering the ball.
Yeah, he has been a huge part of the top of the order along with Riley Green. And the other thing, Rich, is Parker Meadows came back and was killing the ball for like 4 days. Had a little hamstring problem. Hopefully he gets back soon. They probably won't bring him back till after the All-Star break.
Because he always plays gold glove level defense out there in center field. Those long legs and as fast as he is, he covers a lot of territory. And so, you're right. It was unfortunate he hurt his hamstring there. But you're right. He got brought back up, and he provided a little juice.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He was definitely swinging the bat better. Like I said, they said it was a minor hamstring. They will probably rest him this series with the Dodgers, and then the 5 days off they get for the All-Star break. Hopefully he can play then. And also Torkelson's been finally hitting the ball down there.
He has. He hit another home run and a double the other night, and so that's good to see. And again, they really want him, and the way he hits, there's certain pitches they want him to be able to hit.
Yeah, or lay off.
The fastball, he has been behind all year long on the fastball. So he needs to recognize that quicker and get those fast twitch muscle fibers working a tad quicker. And so, it's good to see signs of him improving as well.
Yeah, it's a eyeball problem that turned into a swing problem.
Exactly.
He was having a lot of problems picking up breaking balls, and they didn't like his strikeout rate. And obviously it seeped into his fastball recognition.
Yeah, exactly. And then it just...
How do you like that, folks, for that analysis?
Right, no question. But then it leaks it, and then the confidence goes. And then, it goes downhill from there.
Downhill from there. And so they've got a very interesting series this weekend with the Dodgers.
Yes, they play tonight with Skubal taking on Paxton.
Yeah.
So that's 2 good hurlers.
Well, Tarek Skubal once again proving, he had a couple of rough outings, especially the one in Minnesota, but then he was great against the Reds a few nights ago. And this is his last outing before the All-Star break. There's some talk that the Dodgers are really looking at, like the Dodgers and the Yankees would love to trade for Tarek Skubal.
Oh, yeah.
But I do not think the Tigers are shipping. I don't care. I don't know what the package would have to be for them to get rid of the. This is like trading Verlander after his first year.
No question.
Yeah.
And a left-handed Verlander at that.
Yeah. So I do not think Skubal's going anywhere, especially since they control him for like another 3 years.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So and you have the makings for a good rotation with him and Reese Olson,
Yeah.
who is still learning. He's still.
Olson pitched a beauty the other day.
Yeah,
And how about Keeter Montero
Oh,
pitched
my
a
gosh.
great game on Monday.
Oh, I know, and he's second in a row. He's pitching tomorrow afternoon against Robleski. So.
And the Dodgers are coming off being swept by the Phillies, which is, the Phillies are really good.
Really good.
Yeah, and the Dodgers are really good.
They are.
But they've got some injury problems. Their pitching staff is decimated right now. Their starting staff is in really bad shape. Plus, what's his name? Betts is out of the lineup.
Yeah, anytime Mookie Betts is out, that's
so
take
I think the Tigers have a potential here to win this series.
Yeah.
And what a way to go into the All-Star break.
If they took 2 of 3 from the Dodgers here,
Yeah.
that would be amazing. And like you said, JC, over their last 11 games, they're averaging 5 runs a game.
Yeah.
So it's just you're getting that consistent, timely hitting when you need it. And it's,
Beerling's, everybody is hitting the ball better.
It's such a different listen on the radio now, the excitement. Oh, my gosh, because, let's be honest, when they're only scoring 1 or 2 runs a game, it's slow.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, come on, capture my attention here. But now, in these last 10, 11 games, it's been exciting.
But they still,
and fun.
that game on Monday was a 1-0 win.
Yeah. Never apologize for a win. Low scoring, whatever.
No, that was only the second time I've seen the Tigers on TV. They were on FS1 that night.
Yes.
And they got piped on a bad call.
Oh.
Riley Green hit the ball on the line. They hit that would have scored a run. And it looked like they were going to get screwed out of that win. And then their Cleveland shortstop made an error.
Yes.
And the Tigers turned it around and win the ball game.
Win the ball game, yeah. It's been a fun brand of baseball the last 10 to 11 games, and so we want that.
Flaherty
to
pitched a
continue
beauty yesterday,
Oh,
man.
he sure did. Coming off a couple of back injections,
I hate to lose him, but it's almost inevitable that the Yankees or the Dodgers are going to trade for him.
You look at his strikeout rate and how he commands the strike zone, everything. He's had a phenomenal year.
Oh yeah.
So they would be silly to.
It's funny. They were.
And they always have good farm systems too. So if
the Dodgers have a great farm system.
If you could somehow get a primo prospect,
the Yankees need something, man. The Yankees are worse than the White Sox in the last 30 days.
They've hit the wall.
Oh my God!
It's like I can't. They went from the best team in baseball to now, like you said, battling the White Sox.
They are so lucky that they had such a big lead. They're only 4 games behind the Orioles right now.
Gee.
Any other free fall like that, you'd be 14 games behind the Orioles. So, the Yankees have a problem.
They do.
They have multiple problems. Their pitching staff has fallen apart, and now they're not hitting. That is a bad formula.
That is bad. Bad for your team.
I read that somewhere,
right,
Rich.
Exactly.
No hit, no pitch, no field, no wins.
No wins, exactly. Yeah.
What did they say in Bull Durham?
Oh.
You throw the ball.
Yeah.
You catch the ball. You hit the ball.
Other than that, let everything else
take care of itself. Yeah, exactly. So, it was kind of troublesome for me after. I'm like, you hate to see the Dodgers come in swept.
Yeah, you do, because that's not going to last long.
Yeah. And they're probably not thinking, well, these guys are just going to lay over for us.
Right.
The Tigers are on a little bit of a heater.
Sure.
So, but it's good to have Skubal on the mound for Game 1.
It is, absolutely.
There's going to be there'll be 35,000 people in the ballpark
today. Oh,
today.
no question.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani in town.
Yeah.
and the Dodgers, because they've been one of the
When's
best
the last
teams.
time the Dodgers were in Detroit?
Yeah, they've been one of the best baseball teams the last 10 years in all of baseball. So
doubt about it.
they've, so it's going to be a good watch at Comerica Park.
A good listen
A
on
good
Up North
listen.
Sports Radio.
6:40 game time. So pregame should start about 6:15, 6:20?
Something like that.
Yeah. And
Yeah, very.
here.
It's really good to see the turnaround. Hopefully, it is not short-lived.
Yeah.
That's all we can say about that. And the trade deadline's in 2 weeks. So
Yeah. It'll be exciting, this trade deadline, because, again, if the Tigers, win 2 or 3 in this year, they come out of the break and they continue, because they play Cleveland a whole lot more coming up. They match up, and, man.
yeah, they got another 10 games in August.
And they
the end
really,
of July and August.
And so if they really continue their winning ways, JC, it could really change the whole dynamics of this team.
Yeah, so the All-Star break comes up after this weekend.
Yep.
When they return next Thursday, they're at Toronto and at Cleveland for 4 games, another 4 games.
Yeah, so a long road trip right out of the gates.
Yeah, and then they head to they got Minnesota at home, and Cleveland is back home
I know, a lot of
for
Cleveland.
a 2-game, but that's it.
Yeah.
I don't think they play Cleveland the rest of the year.
Isn't that like how it's loaded like that in July? All in July.
Yeah, I did not see that. No, I've got the schedule right in my hands here, and that's the last time they play the Indians.
That is just wild.
Yeah.
That you would play them that many times in a short period of time.
Yeah, but
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Right.
Let's stay.
But I like what we saw, I guess, because Cleveland did not, again, with the four games I listened to and watched, they did not look like this insurmountable team that we couldn't beat.
Well, I was listening to the post game yesterday, and Dirks and Dickerson said the Indians looked tired.
Yeah.
The starting staff looked a little overtaxed, as well as the bullpen.
Okay.
But when you're giving up 12, 13 hits to the Tigers and you're rolling another pitcher out there, that can happen.
Yeah. There was a point yesterday with that 10-1 win. You thought that they might bring in a position player.
They did.
Did they at the very
Yeah.
end?
Their catcher pitched the last inning.
Man, how often do you see that your catcher actually comes in to a ball game and takes
enough.
the mound?
Yeah, the Tigers did it quite a bit last year.
They would have a shortstop, utility player come in and throw, but I haven't seen a whole lot of catchers be that.
No, well, it depends.
Yeah.
The what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So going back to the trade deadline, regardless of whether the Tigers continue to win, I think it's inevitable that Flaherty's going, and Carson Kelly quite probably is going. This is all the stuff that you hear, and probably Urshela. These 3 guys are all on 1-year deals.
And they're hot right now.
They're hot right now.
Yes.
You can probably have no problem replacing Carson Kelly. They want to bring up Dingler anyways.
And Dingler's finally consistently hitting the ball. He's hitting around 300 at AAA Toledo, and his OPS is like 900.
Yeah, so
he's really,
Kelly's going.
Yeah,
if they get anything for Kelly, he's going.
Because he's got power, and he's a pretty good catcher.
He's a really good catcher.
Yep.
But he's not Jake Rogers, who is Tarek Skubal's catcher of choice.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, something about he likes the stash.
Yeah, he does. Likes the stash.
Yeah.
And Urshela is probably going, he's just so cheap, and if he continues to play, then he's going to want...
Because he's good in the field, and he's really he's hitting the leather off the ball.
Yeah, unless they can, ink him to a longer-term deal before the trade deadline, then I don't think he's not sticking around. And Flaherty's going to fetch a lot.
I think so, too.
People need starting pitching, and he has been great.
And it's good when, like you said, the big boys, the Yankees, the Dodgers, have had some injuries. You never want to see one hurt, but you need to take advantage of it when that's the market.
There's no doubt about it. And there's a lot of teams, like the Tigers are sneaking up on the wild card. There's 7 out of the wild card right now. So, and that includes in that wild card position the Twins and the Royals.
That's right.
So if they can do some more damage against their brethren in the Central Division, then who knows where we're going to be in the middle of August.
No, it's a whole lot of fun. This whole week has changed my whole perspective on the season now. It's been a whole lot of fun.
Never changed mine. I never doubted. I never doubted. So that's our look at Tiger baseball. Our good friend JJ is going to come in here in a minute. I'm getting in the Q100 mobile and heading to the Iron Pig Smokehouse for our Alpenfest coverage.
That's right.
Yep. So that'll be fun. If you're anywhere near Gaylord, stop on in at the Iron Pig. You can get some free Faygo and a lot of swag. We've got some cool things to give away. And, of course, you got great food and great times at the Iron Pig. In the meantime, we'll take a break from the Up North Sports Radio Friday Faceoff, and we've got a message from our good friends at Cherry Capital Airport. It's time for Destination MLB. Jerry Coyne and Kevin Klein from Cherry Capital Airport talking about a little all-star break, a little resurgence from the Tigers this past week, Kev.
Yeah, we swept the Reds. That was nice. That was nice.
Beat Cleveland and then lost to Tuffy. I'm hoping for 2 more wins and then head to the all-star break.
Well, you got it. And I hope the break sets the tone. We get some momentum, get some rest, and we learn to use our bats consistently. And when we do that, look what we can do over this last week.
Shell is hitting better. Yeah. Justin Henry Malloy's hitting better. Riley Green's heading to the All-Star game.
I was gonna say, yeah. And so we got some, we got some hope. We got some hope. So but they were on the road, and guess what? They won. So what it means is you got to fly and travel to these games.
That's right.
To get the Tigers to win. So that's our call to action to the fans. Is it's time to fly and go see our Tigers. The Minneapolis trip that we had and our fans went. They won the trip and everything else. I heard so many people talk about we've got to do that more. We got to do it with Boston. We got to do it with this. And so, I think we're onto something here for our fans going, because we're talking like groups of 20 are coming in and saying we got to go do this. So, hey, we have the opportunity to connect you to all these cities, 20 nonstops. But as you said, the All-Star Game's coming up. It's in Dallas. We have nonstop Dallas on American Airlines that gets you down there. And, it's kind of like a last minute trip if you're looking at it right now.
Yeah.
But it's about $600. That's not too bad for last minute, middle of the week going down and getting it. And so Dallas is a good trip. And then also for those Texan fans, Houston just started with United Airlines. And so,
watch out for those Astros. They're playing some serious baseball. They could end up in the World Series again.
Well, and I want to say, if we want to push our Tigers to get going, it's got to travel. You got to go see them, and you got some great trips coming up in August. We talked San Francisco.
Yeah,
that's still hot. You're still getting there for $389 in that area.
Same trip, whether you're going to see the Giants or the A's.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then that Chicago trip. You're talking less than $300 to see him play both the Cubs and the Sox for a long trip at the end of August. So, that's cheaper than the gas it costs to get down and back, and of course park or stay. You fly down, you get to see the game. So, great things happening out of Cherry Capital Airport with the 29 stops, 6 great airlines with the Legion, American, Avello, Delta, Sun Country, and United. There's no better way to go.
And easy in, easy parking, easy TSA, easy luggage pickup and delivery. That's just what makes Cherry Capital Airport so special, Kev.
It's all about the experience.
That's going to do it for Destination MLB. What's that website?
tvcairport.com.
It's time to fly. Start your next comfortable, convenient journey from Northern Michigan's hometown airport, Cherry Capital Airport in Traverse City. TVC makes your trip easier with affordable terminal-adjacent parking and all the friendly airport services without all the crowds. Fly from Cherry Capital Airport to your dream destination on Allegiant, American, Delta, Sun Country, and United. Visit tvcairport.com and fly with TVC. Cherry Capital Airport in Traverse City.
Vote in the Traverse City Record Eagles Simply the Best Reader's Choice Contest for 2024. Help your favorite businesses, organizations, and professionals in Northern Michigan earn their well-deserved recognition as Simply the Best. Vote every day through July 31st. Winners announced via our virtual award ceremony on the Record Eagles page on Facebook at 7 p.m. September 25th and in our special Simply the Best winners publication that day. Enter now at record-eagle.com/simplythebest.
Who knew? Fresh air is a destination, a place to breathe in the lapping waves of Torch Lake and explore the tree-lined trails of northern Michigan. A place to connect with nature and each other, one-on-one, in the waves, woods, and wonder of Bel Air. When you're looking to escape the everyday, breathe in the magic of northern Michigan at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com.
The people you know, the name you trust. North Central Area Credit Union. Integrity, service, and value, you can count on us. North Central Area Credit Union.
If it's time for a new or new-to-you vehicle, there's some groovy auto loans available at NCACU with an easy application process and rates as low as 6.99% APR.
North Central Area Credit Union.
Federally insured by NCUA.
Welcome back to Up North Sports Radio, 101.1 WGRY. JJ coming in from the bullpen.
That's right. We went to the right-hander, J.J. Rao, and filling in for J.C. As he said, he was heading to the remote up at the Iron Pig Smokehouse during Elpin Fest up in Gaylord. Always a good time. They've had some great numbers showing up there, I've noticed, through the week, so hopefully that should continue here today. But we're going to continue to talk about some sports here, JJ.
Yeah, let's pretend that I know nothing about sports and I'm just really good at pushing buttons on the radio.
Okay, whatever works. But, you know, one thing that both JC and I were able to attend this year was the NFL draft down in Detroit. Turned out, you know, they set all kinds of attendance records, things like that for the draft. And now there's some of the financial numbers have come back, JJ, and for the city of Detroit and the area there, they are saying that it created over $213 million.
Wow.
In revenue for the city and the region. So that's why the Lions were so anxious to host this, you know, the draft and have so many people come down there, because they knew it was a huge boon for them financially.
And after all these years of getting to pick first, second, whatever, we had a good year. We didn't get to pick at the top.
Went into the 20s, and we actually moved up just a bit and got Terry and Arnold, the defensive back from Alabama. And speaking of that, all of the camps start here coming up in the next couple of weeks. The Lions rookies will report on July 20th, and then the veterans report on the 23rd. So soon after that, they'll go through a couple of weeks of training camp, and then all of a sudden their first exhibition game or preseason game will be in the early part of August. And so right around the corner, JJ, is football.
I know more about football than I do about baseball. So I was looking on the Detroit Lions website, trying to get a little bit of news and information, and they had an editorial after Sports Illustrated said that they picked the Lions to win the Super Bowl this year and beat the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
So they went through the editorial staff of the Lions and were asking people, what do you think is going to happen this year? And there was some interesting answers.
Is that right?
They all involved the Super Bowl,
but
very few involved a win
in the
at the Super Bowl.
Okay. Of course, the Kansas City Chiefs are looking for the first three-peat ever in the Super Bowl. Of course, they won back-to-back titles. It would be really difficult for Kansas City to continue on the kind of run. I mean, they're a playoff team. Anytime you have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, you have a chance to win it all. And so I never doubt that guy.
It depends on how much Taylor Swift let Travis Kelce work out this past offseason. Because according to the media, they're spending $150,000 a day to entertain themselves.
$150,000 a day to entertain themselves. Huh, that's a lot of entertainment.
That's a lot of entertainment.
Hochi mama. Yeah, and you got to wonder how complacent they become after, again, back. It's hard to win a single Super Bowl, let alone back-to-back. And now you want to do the three-peat, that's tough. But I do like that Sports Illustrated prediction, though, of the Lions meeting the Bengals. Obviously, that's with their Joe Burrow, their quarterback, staying healthy.
Yeah.
Because he's had trouble doing that the past few years. But if he's healthy, Cincinnati Bengals are the real deal. And the Lions going in, it's going to be such a unique year going into this season, JJ, because, again, they're going to be the hunted. They won the NFC North last year. They won 2 playoff games, got to the NFL championship game, and then had the first half lead on the San Francisco 49ers. So now from hunting people, they are going to be the hunted. So it's really going to be a different kind of scope, a different vision for this team. But I think that Campbell will have those guys motivated. I watched a little bit more of Hard Knocks, the rerun of when the Lions were on just a couple years ago. And so it's interesting to go back a couple of years and see what the roster was like then and to see what it is now. And so it's the roster has improved so much in the last couple of years. And I think you'll continue to see that with this latest draft class as well.
And you've coached, I've coached, not at that level, but it can be a challenge to get that initial spark. You come in, you're a new coach, everything's exciting, but then how do you maintain that? How do you transfer that into new players that haven't been here for that?
And 2 years ago, you saw that the Lions, they didn't win a game, their first 6 games, or maybe they were 2-6 at that point. And then all of a sudden they caught fire and won, their last, 7 out of 8 games or something like that. And we beat the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers' last game as a Packer. And that was the role that they got going. And they were able to maintain that momentum going from the prior year into this last year where they won 12 games in the regular season. And so they know now, all of a sudden, they know what it's like to win, how to coach them to get the wins out of them. And so sometimes it just takes time to figure things out, and I'm glad the brass and the higher-ups of the Lions were patient with everybody and let this team become what they wanted it to be. And right now, it's one of the best times ever being a Detroit Lions fan. And, of course, those games available all season long over 100.3 WQON all season long, JJ.
Free of charge even.
Free of charge.
You don't even have to subscribe.
Exactly. That's a great price.
Right.
An incredible price. You're not going to get a better deal.
You mentioned old Rico Suave there, Aaron Rodgers. He's back from the Achilles injury. Is he going to make it past week 1 this year?
Oh, that is a big question. They have improved that offensive line because that was an abysmal offensive line last year. And with an aging quarterback, you better have a lot. Of course, the Lions are fortunate because they have one of the best offensive lines in all of football. The Philadelphia Eagles, one of the best offensive lines in football. The Jets are never mentioned up there in that higher echelon of offensive lines. They did put some resources in there. What is he, almost 40 now, I believe, close to it, if not. But like you said, he's coming off that Achilles injury. And anytime an Achilles goes, everyone's so different with their rehab. And he doesn't have to be the fleet of foot Aaron Rodgers like he was in his early days at Green Bay. He just needs to be able to maneuver around in that pocket enough to buy himself that extra split second to get the ball to his receivers. But, of course, with it being a New York-based team, that's all anyone talks about all season long. And so every one of the morning shows, they talk about the Jets. They talk about the Jets. It just gets ad nauseum for sure. It's nice to, get some real perspective on other teams, the other 31 teams that are out there in the NFL as well. And who's the surprise team this year as well? Look what the Houston Texans did last year. They were going into last season, they were one of the worst teams in the NFL. I think they drafted, second or third, and they drafted C.J. Stroud, the quarterback, out of Ohio State. And usually Ohio State quarterbacks are horrible. There's no one that they can look to and say, oh, that guy was a great quarterback coming out of Ohio State. C.J. Stroud has broke the mold, though, and had a tremendous rookie year. That was his rookies. You had a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback, and they got into the playoffs. I mean, that's incredible, JJ. You don't see that combination often at all.
I heard an interesting fact about Ohio. Did you know that no one from Michigan has a summer home in Ohio?
Hey.
I'm good for a dad joke.
Right.
All right, it's just about the bottom of the hour, so we'll step aside, get a break. When we come back, we hope to connect with Lindsay Southwell because they've got all kinds of stuff going on at Shanty Creek for the next couple of weeks, including golf times available this weekend.
This weekend, with this great weather coming in, JJ, what a time to hit the links.
All right, we'll be back on Up North Sports Radio.
Sports on the Michigan News Network.
The Tigers have won 6 of 7 after yesterday's 10-1 blowout of Cleveland. Jack Flaherty goes 6 innings, allowing 1 run and 2 hits. He gets the win. Carson Kelly goes deep for his 7th homer. Wiley Green and Gio Urshela each drive in 3. L.A. Dodgers in town for 3 starting tonight at 6:40 p.m. Tarek Skubal pitching tonight. Tigers now 45-49. After finishing 3rd in NFL Coach of the Year voting last year, the Lions' Dan Campbell is ranked as the 8th best coach in the NFL by CBS Sports, one behind Jim Harbaugh of the Chargers. Lions open training camp for rookies on Saturday, July 20th. Veterans report the following week. Former Milwaukee player Malik Beasley officially signing with the Pistons for a reported $6 million, which would leave them with about $14 million in remaining cap space. And the Red Wings signed first-round draft pick forward Michael Branseg-Nygaard to a 3-year deal worth just under $3 million. Jeff Lesson for the Michigan News Network.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
We played for the thrill, that rush you feel with the game on the line. I'm Herman Moore, Lions All-Pro wide receiver. Now, with Eagle Casino and Sports, the new sportsbook app from Soaring Eagle, anywhere I'm at, I'm still in the game.
Sign up now and get up to $1,000. That's right, up to $1,000 for a risk-free bet on your next favorite underdog, parlay, or prop.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
Tune in to Tiger Baseball on 101.1 WGRY.
Sponsored in part by your friends at Fick & Sons in Northern Michigan. Competitive, diversified, experienced, dependable. FickandSons.com.
Up North Sports Radio and home to Tiger Baseball.
Welcome back to Friday Faceoff on Up North Sports Radio, 101.1 WGRY. JJ subbing in for JC, who's headed up to Alpenfest in Gaylord to have some fun there starting at 11 o'clock right now. Joining us for Hang Time is Lindsay Southwell, Director of Marketing from Shanty Creek. Good morning, Lindsay. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great.
So it is, believe it or not, we're already mid-July, Lindsay. Where's the summer going?
It seems to be going by pretty fast. You know, we had it all winter, and it's keeping on going. So, you know, the weather this weekend looks fantastic, and I just checked this morning. We have plenty of tee time still left. So if you're thinking that golf might be something that can fit into your schedule, you should definitely come on out and get a tee time.
Play around, have some fun. You've got all kinds of beautiful courses. JC and I have been up there a couple times this spring to check out the courses and do some interviews with Steve Sauerman from the golf program. Beautiful courses at Shanty Creek. And Lindsay, do you ever get out and play golf?
Oh, I definitely do.
Oh, good.
One
good.
of the perks.
One of the perks of being there, you can just grab a cart, grab your clubs, and go out and swing 9.
Yeah, well, or 18, you know.
Or 36, or depending on what the day allows,
or
right?
90, you know.
Or 90. So I see coming up in just about 10 days on the 22nd, you're having the Michigan State Scholarship Golf Outing, and they're still looking for foursomes, which raises money for the scholarship program for MSU students in the turf grass program. Do you have a lot of fun at the Hawkeye when you get all kinds of Michigan State alum out there playing golf?
Oh, absolutely. You know, and it's a really great cause. You know, we don't think about it too much unless we're on a course that isn't very good. But, you know, those turf grass graduates are our course superintendents and those who work so hard on keeping our courses as pristine as they do. And they're kind of the unsung heroes, I think, of the golf world because you don't notice it until there's a problem. And
right.
So we really want to support those students and their career paths because it's so important to all of us in the golf world. And, of course, always a good time when you're supporting your school. And Hawkeye, I mean, is a fantastic course in itself. And, honestly, this foursome rate is much less than you'd be able to play the Hawkeye on any other day. So you might as well come out, support your school, have a lot of fun while you're at it.
Right. And Lindsay Rich here. And, you know, there's a real science to that turf management program. I mean, it's not like guys just going out there cutting grass. There's so much more to it to make a beautiful golf course.
Oh, absolutely. I call it an art and a science because, you know, there's just some things science doesn't tell you, but they just know, right? And I can't say enough about the turf grass program at Michigan State, certainly the best of the best. And we're very fortunate in Michigan to have the soils that we do and the terrain that we have. And so, yeah, come on out, support those guys.
For more details, go to shantycreek.com for the Michigan State University Scholarship Golf Outing coming up on the 22nd. And coming soon, it says here, make your plans now. A crazy busy weekend at the resort. It's one of the favorite weekends, Balloons Over Bel Air.
Yeah, so that's next month, but I'm giving people a lot of time to plan because it's one of our favorite weekends of the summer. It's August 23 and 24, so the end of August. We're talking the end of summer, but it's always our favorite way to kind of put a wrap on summer here at the resort. We have 15 to 20 balloonists who set up their balloons behind Lakeview Hotel and take off. Now, the Lakeview sits up on top of a big hill, overlooks beautiful Lake Bel Air, and the view is even better when you can watch all those balloons really up close and personal taking off.
Now, what's the penalty for hitting a balloon that lands on the course? Is it a 2-stroke penalty?
I don't
Do you
know.
swing
It
again?
seems like that might be part of the course, so you got to play it.
Yeah, but Lindsay, nothing more beautiful than seeing those hot air balloons up in the air on a beautiful, clear, blue sky day. It's just something majestic about that.
Yeah, it's really an incredible experience. It's free. You just come, you can watch, you can enjoy yourself. And, you know, if you're thinking maybe I make a weekend out of it, you can always come and stay too. But the event itself is a lot of fun, a really neat way to kind of learn about their craft.
I've stayed at Shanty Creek in the various different resorts up there, and it is top-notch accommodations.
No question about it. No question about it, JJ.
So, Lindsay, we thank you for joining us this morning, and for more details about the upcoming Michigan State Golf Outing, to get tee times for this weekend, you can go to shantycreek.com for more details and get yourself booked. Get out and enjoy the summer while it's here.
Yes, we only have a little bit of it left.
Yeah, it was that one Tuesday in July. Is
right.
The way I was raised. So, Lindsay Southwell, Director of Marketing from Shanty Creek, we thank you for joining us for the Hang Time on Up North Sports Radio.
Thanks, guys.
We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Who knew? Fresh air is a destination, a place to breathe in the lapping waves of Torch Lake and explore the tree-lined trails of northern Michigan. A place to connect with nature and each other, one-on-one. In the waves, woods, and wonder of Bel Air. When you're looking to escape the everyday, breathe in the magic of northern Michigan at Shanty Creek Resort in Bel Air and online at shantycreek.com.
It's time to fly. Start your next comfortable, convenient journey from Northern Michigan's hometown airport, Cherry Capital Airport in Traverse City. TVC makes your trip easier with affordable terminal-adjacent parking and all the friendly airport services without all the crowds. Fly from Cherry Capital Airport to your dream destination on Allegiant, American, Delta, Sun Country, and United. Visit tvcairport.com and fly with TVC. Cherry Capital Airport in Traverse City.
Vote in the Traverse City Record Eagles Simply the Best Reader's Choice Contest for 2024. Help your favorite businesses, organizations, and professionals in Northern Michigan earn their well-deserved recognition as Simply the Best. Vote every day through July 31st. Winners announced via our virtual award ceremony on the Record Eagles page on Facebook at 7 p.m. September 25th and in our special Simply the Best winners publication that day. Enter now at record-eagle.com/simplythebest.
Making history in Grayling, our first ever used car clearance event is on now at Matt LaFontaine Automotive. We closed the doors for 4 days to prepare for this event. Everything has been tagged with below market prices. Everything must go by 7/31 to make room for our massive new car shipments in August. Over 100 units available with great payment and financing options for everyone. Pick out your next vehicle 24 hours a day at mattlafontaine.com or call us for your personalized appointment today.
Hey, it's Anthony Bellino from Spin on Sports, Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show on the Great Voice Radio Network. Heard live weekday mornings from 6 to 9 right here on Up North Sports Radio 101.1 WGRY. Whether it's Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Lions, Michigan State, the Big Ten, the Mid-American Conference, all the headlines, all the stories, and always Michigan teams first. It's all right here on Spin on Sports, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on the Great Voice Radio Network. Heard locally on Up North Sports Radio 101.1 WGRY.
Rich, have you got to hear the new morning show, Spin on Sports?
That's right, yes, with Anthony Bellino.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony does a nice job. Like JC mentioned, we were able to interview him last week on Friday Faceoff, and he brings a ton of energy to the radio. It's a welcome change for sure. It's a lot of fun, and he's going to be up here in a couple of weeks and going to be taking the Asabo River Canoe Marathon for the first time.
Well, he's going to be attending. Let's clarify that, because that could be misconstrued that he might be competing.
Oh no! You don't just jump into the Asabo River. No. He's there to observe and take it all in with the thousands of other people around. And as of right now, 103 teams signed up, JJ, for the Asabo River Canoe Marathon. So coming off a record year, 75th anniversary last year of 110 teams. I tell you, to come back that next year, you would expect some fall off. You know, I really expected maybe 85 to 90 teams this year. No, it looks like it's going to be over 100. 103 signed up as of today. So pretty incredible.
Now, for those of you that, because I'll say this, I grew up in Kalkaska.
Yes.
I never knew there was a canoe marathon that happened just 25 minutes from my house.
Yes.
But the first time I ever experienced that race, watching all the paddlers, because they don't just let's just portage here and jump in the water. They start downtown.
Yes.
At 9 p.m., they blow a shotgun. They come running from downtown, carrying their lightweight racing canoes. They come around the corner into the water at the old Asabo Fly Shop, and it is like nothing you've ever seen.
It is. It's some of the most exciting 5 to 10 minutes that you'll take in, because the crowd, like you said, JJ, that Le Mans start running with these carbon fiber canoes, anywhere from like a quarter mile to some of them, because again, so many teams sign up, it's almost a half mile away if you're in the back of the pack. So it takes a while for all of them to trickle down, because remember, we've got people in their 70s this year paddling, and we do every year. So it's just everybody races for different reasons in this river, or in this canoe race. Again, if you haven't seen the Asabo is only about 20 feet wide right there where everybody puts in. And when you have over 100 teams jamming into this small area, it just adds for the excitement. All the fans are up on their feet. It's just, it's very cool. And they're, let alone the thousands right there at the start at Rays, but as you continue down the river there, lining the banks are thousands more people at the backstreet bridges, at the different canoe liveries along the way, just 30 seconds downstream. It's just a wild, wild event, and it's so much fun. And we've been calling it live here for a while on our broadcast over on Q100.
Now, last year we did, because this is where I shine in the technical side of things, we were able to actually do video footage live on the Q100 Michigan webpage where people could watch the start of the race. And with a little experience in that, I'm already thinking about where I can put a camera on the back side of the building to get the people running down the street,
right,
where I can put the camera to get them all jumping in the water, where I can get the camera to avoid JC because he doesn't want to be on camera. But so we're trying to make this broadcast bigger and bigger every single year. So I'm hoping to have some interesting camera angles. And there was even rumor about a drone.
Oh,
didn't that come from you?
Not for me. No, I heard you guys talking about it a couple of weeks ago. But there's certain there are a couple of drones every year that are flying high above the thousands of people watching the race. And so I don't know what behind the scenes, what you have to get approved to do the drone thing, but I know there are a couple of drones each and every year to do that. And so it's awesome when you see that drone footage of the paddlers running with their canoes down Peninsular Avenue. You just it looks like, hundreds of ants come scrambling down the street, turn that corner to head towards the old DeSable Fly Shop, and we'll be right there calling the action. And I like how you've added that video component, JJ, because again, it just being able to see something and match it up with the excitement that you hear as well, it's just second to none. It's so much fun.
Now, I have a couple friends who are paddlers, because you don't do anything in the town of Grayling without knowing someone who's a paddler.
Oh, exactly.
And I've heard water levels are good this year. That's been a concern in the past. The water gets too low, and you get sprained ankles and tweaked knees.
You're shoveling gravel for the first hour or so of the race because it's so low. But like I told JC last week, just that when we had that big, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we had that 2 inches of rain in one day. It brought the water levels up so high, because the marathon does a great job in the sense of they give you estimated winning times depending on the water level where it's at each day. At one point, they would have set a record for this canoe marathon by over a half hour because of that rain that got added. And almost, you go back in the history of this race, that again, this is the 76th race. When records have been set for this race, we've gotten this sudden surge of water the day before or the day of the race. And so it just lifts the water up, mainly in these shallow areas in the upper streams here. Once you get below McMaster's Bridge and things like that, a couple of hours into the race, the water gets deeper because the South Branch comes into the mainstream, all of that. So that just helps propel you down the river. But yeah, pretty exciting. Right now they're predicting about a 14-hour, 30-minute finish for the top teams, give or take. But again, we might have some rain here again in the next 2. Look, it's 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Wow.
Is that just like time flying or what?
Yeah. Didn't summer just start?
Yeah, it seems that way.
I've been too busy playing softball. Well, coaching softball.
That's right. Yeah, you're still traveling the roads. We talked a little bit about softball earlier on with the Gaylord girls team repeating as champions. So congratulations once again to them, back-to-back state champs. And that's a feat. The Everett team won their first championship in any sport, state championship. So that was really cool to see.
So back to the canoe marathon. Locally, who are your odds-on favorites?
Oh, I think defending champ Wes Dean is going to be, he's with a new partner this year because his Canadian partner, Steve Lajoie, had paddled for like 25, 30 years, and he's retired now. And so he's with Ryan Halstead, and Ryan has won a marathon in the past, about 8 years ago. So that's right now, they're the team. because there's a whole circuit of races. If you
Yeah.
don't know, the Michigan Canoe Race
The
Association.
Triple Crown.
Yeah, they do all of these races around Michigan, and Wes Dean and, again, Ryan Halstead seem to be the team to beat right now. But there's a lot of good teams that are going to be battling for those top 10 positions for sure. And then other teams, obviously, trying to improve on their personal best. You have people that, like Lynn Whitty, who's paddled 41 canoe marathons. It's just incredible. Since she was like 30 years old, that she has been paddling this canoe marathon, as she is now, I believe, 71.
Wow.
They give her age in these when they sign up. And it's just, amazing to see what these people, men, women, all of them, what they're able to do. It's something to behold for sure. A lot of young people paddling also again this year. So it's good to get new blood, new people paddling in this incredible race that lasts anywhere from around 14 hours to 18, 19 hours.
And another wonderful thing about the canoe marathon is the way the community of Grayling opens up their doors to all these people coming from all over the world.
Yes.
These aren't just Michigan people racing. No. They've got people international, and they'll use my house, sleep in my bedroom,
Yes.
use my bathroom. They're just open and welcome.
We have the Belize team is back once again. So those guys, they did really well. They finished 20-something last year. And so for them to come to this race, their very first time, and to finish in the top 30 is quite a feat. But they're back again. So I expect them to even get better this year. So it's really cool to see, obviously, a ton of Canadian teams. Of course, and some of my favorite, of course, we have a few entries from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Love it. I just love that Saskatoon.
It's got its own unique Canadian accent.
It does. A ton of people from Texas, of course. Once again, we've really been. There's a race down there called the Texas Water Safari that goes on. That's a crazy race, and a lot of those racers that paddle that down there are coming now north. They love to get out of Texas in the heat of the summer and come up here. And now I know a few of them that have bought places along the Ausable because they love northern Michigan in the summertime.
Yeah, because it's always, even when it's hot up here, it's not nearly as hot as it is in Texas.
That's right. Yes, exactly. My daughter lives down there, and she was just up here for 3 weeks. So she was glad to get out of there, but she was glad to get back home and see her husband, of course, who's holding down the fort with the family business. But also, JJ, right around the corner, believe it or not, is high school football for us as well.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You see the kids, how they're able to do install, like 7-on-7s, doing installs, doing different kinds of organized, not really practices per se, but
walkthroughs.
Walkthroughs, exactly.
I remember when I was that age, a long time ago, this time of year, you could only have so many players with a coach, and there couldn't be a ball in sight. You know how many Gatorade bottles got used in place of a football?
That's great. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the number is anymore, but their coaches are utilizing this time to install offenses for the newer kids, whether it's a JV kid that's come up on varsity now or a kid that has just moved to the territory or to the area. But looking forward to both the Grayling Vikings and also the Traverse City West Titans football action, as you and I do cover the Titans.
Yep, I was looking ahead to the schedule this year. More home games than last year, which is always nice.
Yes, it is. Yeah, just a few road trips.
Yeah.
We go to what?
Grand Haven,
and then Midland twice.
Yeah, and Marquette comes to us. Even better.
Now, that's a pretty good road schedule there, JJ. Grand Haven in late summer, early fall. That's not a bad place to be. And then going to Midland twice, back-to-back weeks. So not bad at all.
They owed us a trip from Marquette after we went for basketball season.
That's right. As we went up there and won a district championship.
Yep.
That was sweet.
So we were talking about the returning lineup for the Traverse City West Titans. We've got senior quarterback Owen Hendricks, who trial under fire last year when Isaac Kelsey went out with a broken arm in Bay City.
That's right.
Big, and I don't think I said enough bigs, missing hole on the line on both sides of the ball with Kyler Brunin going to MSU.
That's right.
This fall.
As a preferred walk-on, is going to try to play football there. So, yeah, that's obviously some big shoes to fill, figuratively and literally. And so, but like you said, Owen Hendricks got some of that experience, because of Isaac. Owen was just a junior last year, but he stepped in and did a solid job.
Yes,
I thought he did really, really well. Considering he wasn't getting number one snaps in practices or anything like that up until the injury to Isaac. So I think this year, definitely having that experience that he gained, I think he play like 6 or 7 games?
Yeah, I think so.
Because something like that, because Isaac got hurt fairly early. And so it was, have Owen there and to gain all that experience will only just be a huge boon for them going forward this year, no doubt about it.
And we talked earlier about, Coach Dan Campbell from the Lions trying to keep that new coach spark going. Well, this is really first full year, but second year for Coach James Wagner coming in for the Titans.
Exactly. Kind of came in, like midsummer last year, fairly late in the process as far as new coaches go, all of that, because he was moving from Colorado to get back here. So I'm sure things have gone a lot smoother this year with getting his staff together, his football staff, and then all the players. He knows them now, being a teacher in the system, so he knows the kids. They had that beautiful weight room over there at Traverse City West. That's a nice addition. So they've been working hard in there. So for sure that this things will go a lot more smooth, I'm sure, for Coach Wagner, like you said, and his assistants as well.
So we've talked about the Traverse City team.
Yep.
And but we're a Grayling local radio station. Any word on the Vikings this season?
I have not. I see that they also
Where's Chad Patterson when you need him?
That's right. Chad, if you're listening, buddy. But I think, I saw some stuff on Facebook as well where they have had some of their spread camp and doing some things like that, running the spread offense, I believe. And so they're doing some of the same things that other schools are doing, taking this opportunity that you have this open window, because there will be a dead period just before official practices start, and that'll be like mid-August or early August.
I believe it's the second week of August this year.
Second week of August when official practices. But remember, there's so much work these kids put in prior to getting to that season. It used to be, JJ, when you
walked on first day, here's some pads, let's go.
Right, and you started to get in shape as that went on. Oh, no, nowadays they go right into practice in shape,
Yeah.
So you did those 2 weeks, you're not have to worry about conditioning because these kids have been running and lifting and doing all the things they need to do going right into the season. So you're not like 2 weeks behind everybody else. So
yeah.
It's just they've gotten it down to a science so much better nowadays with all the off-season training programs, everything you need to do. You can really see some of the growth in some of these kids from year to year. And also, I just thought of congratulations to the West basketball team as they won the Lake Superior summer tournament this year up there, I see. So that was
Coach Ballman and the boys are working in the off season.
That's right. Yeah, that was great to see. So congratulations to them. Anytime you go to, another town, another city, and you win the tournament there with all the other teams, that's always cool to see as well.
Yeah, it's good to see the basketball team coming together because they graduated a handful of seniors.
That's right.
As well.
Yep. And as we know, the success of those JV and freshman teams, as they hope to fill those positions in with some other kids, as there's some real talent down on both freshman and JV as well.
I wonder if Leapin' Lincoln Lockhart's little brother is going to make varsity this year.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see for sure. But, a lot of exciting times coming up here around northern Michigan, no doubt about it, JJ. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of things to do yet this summer. And don't forget to take in some of that golf at Shanty Creek this weekend, as a bunch of tee times are available, and enjoy some of that summertime weather.
And if you're a fan of golf, make sure you tune in tomorrow morning at 9 and Sunday morning at 9. JC's Finding Fairways. He's got a handful of different guests this week. His old buddy Kevin Frisch is going to be on the show. Ray Hearn, do you know that name?
Ray Hearn, that does not sound familiar.
He is the architect of golf courses, and he has done hundreds of course designs and course redesigns, including many here in the state of Michigan. JC did 2 full segments. He actually gave me an hour and a half of content with Ray to try and fit into the show. So it's a big show tomorrow here on Up North Sports Radio starting at 9 o'clock. And you can also watch it. We're getting into that digital world, just like for those of you watching on Facebook now, I also wave at the cameras. But you can watch Finding Fairways. It premieres at 9 a.m. on the Up North Sports Radio Facebook page tomorrow morning. So
adding that video component to it's really a nice addition. You know, JJ, we did that in our football and basketball seasons last year. You're doing it with Finding Fairways, all that. We're doing it with Friday Faceoff. It's really a nice addition to put a face with a voice and scare a lot of people.
Yeah, I sound great on the radio.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're just about to the end of Friday Face-Off. Rich, thanks for letting me step in and push some buttons.
Great job. You did a super job, JJ. Appreciate you filling in. JC will be back next Friday, as we'll be back right here. And don't forget to listen to the Tigers right here, 101.1, as they take on the Dodgers tonight. Tarek Skubal pitching 6:15, 6:20 pregame.
Go Tigers.
He's Bill Ryder, and he's Ryder than you.
The program Ryder than you. Sometimes.
He's a fan.
I love sports so much.
He's in your face.
I will destroy those obnoxiously arrogant, clueless, tone-deaf superstars who are marginal players, good players, made careers, who believe they're Hall of Famers.
He's nice.
I promise. We're nice here.
He's humble.
I think I'm usually pretty good here on the show about admitting when I got it wrong.
Here's Bill Ryder.
All right, good morning. Friday Energy. Bill Ryder with you here on the show. Thank you for listening. I told you my view on Paul Skeens earlier in the show. Let's get a perspective from a guy that covers Major League Baseball every single day with distinction. He is CBS Sports senior MLB writer, Matt Snyder, on Twitter at Matt Snyder CBS. Read him at CBSSports.com. Watch him on CBS Sports HQ. Mr. Snyder, good morning, buddy.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Life is great. All right, so Mr. Skeens and his mustache and his mesmerizing talent have a 6-pitch inning in the 7th inning. He gets the 99 pitches total. He has a no-hitter through 7, and he does not go back out for the 8th. What was your initial reaction, and with some time to ponder, where's your head at on that decision?
Initial reaction, incredible annoyance. Look, I did a long-form story earlier this year where I interviewed 4 orthopedic surgeons. And they all said there is no magic number on where an injury risk drastically increases. It's just use and overuse. So when you go over 50 pitches, then you have more of a risk than when you go over 40. When you go over 70 pitches, you have more of a risk than when you go over 50. 99 pitches, he's thrown 107 in a game this year. He was over 120 in a bunch of games for LSU. Run him back out for the 8th and just see how it goes. If he runs into trouble and he's going to get up to 115, then you can pull him. If he has another quick inning, then you can see how the 9th inning goes. I don't know, man. I'm getting kind of tired of the kid gloves treatment when it seems like all pitchers are going to get injured anyway, and there's not that much we can do about it.
Dude, Matt Snyder on the show. Matt, I had the exact same reaction. So I think we're aligned. We have the exact same view. If you can try to put yourself in the headspace of Derek Shelton or the front office, if you think they were a part of the decision-making, what is it you think that their goal was here? Is it simply arm fatigue that they're worried about after 99 pitches?
Yeah. Yes. Well, so they started the season with him when he was in AAA, and he wasn't even going 40 pitches. He went like 35 in his first couple outings. Then he worked up in the 45s. So they're going completely conservative with his arm and trying to look at the big picture and trying to protect his long-term health. But, there isn't much evidence that says this is the path that's going to keep him healthy, because there is no path that keeps pitchers healthy. Like, we've seen it so many times. Even workhorses like Justin Verlander ended up having to have Tommy John surgery in his late 30s. Even workhorses like Max Scherzer end up eventually getting hurt. Roy Halladay eventually got hurt. Garrett Cole this season in the spring got hurt. It doesn't seem to matter how you treat guys. The human arm is not meant to throw a baseball 100 miles per hour over and over and over. It's just not. But their line of thinking is to limit his usage as best they can. And he went over 100 pitches in back-to-back outings before this past outing, and that was the first time he'd done that as a pro. He'd done it in college plenty of times, but it's the first time he'd done it as a pro. So my hunch is the front office told Derek Shelton he can't get to 100 pitches 3 games in a row, so you stop him before he gets there.
So obviously the way baseball works, there is some team control of Skeens for a while. What is, if you're Pittsburgh and this player is as talented going forward as he certainly seems to be 11 starts into his big league career, what is the plan here? Is there, can they build a winner around this guy? Is he an asset they eventually trade? You think so? You like Pittsburgh's chances? What's that look like?
I mean, they're right on the cusp of contention right now, and that's with them severely limiting his workload. And that is with Jared Jones as a rookie who's incredibly talented. They've got Mitch Keller, a veteran frontline type starter. So if they made the playoffs right now, they have a really nice playoff rotation with those 3 guys. O'Neal Cruz is the type of guy who could get hot enough to carry an offense. Brian Hayes is like a cornerstone type player, not necessarily a star, but the type of guy that could be part of a foundation that could be a winner. So yeah, they could totally build around those guys, and Skeens is under control for 6 years. So
yeah,
they've got time to do it. I wonder about their ability to keep him in free agency down the road, not just because it's going to be huge dollars in all likelihood because he's going to be so good, but I can't help but think about stuff like him getting pulled twice from no-hitters. And, you know, once he comes down the road, is he going to have a bitter taste in his mouth? We just got past Corbin Burns and the Brewers fighting in arbitration over a couple $100,000, and Burns publicly complained about it, and the Brewers traded him this past spring. I just wonder if stuff like this is going to stack up, and down the road it's going to hurt the Pirates.
Matt Snyder, what is the likelihood, and I know you have to sort of factor in the hope that he can stay healthy, but what is the likelihood that Paul Skeens can be as much of a difference maker in the long term as he certainly appears